management, or sponsors. AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airways and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Welcome to Tell Us Your Biz with your host, Holly Ulrich. And you can watch us on Facebook at AMP2 TV Productions, plus Periscope and YouTube at AMP2 TV. We're here with our guest, Stuart Chamberlain from Chamberlain Financial. And welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what exactly is your business about and how does it help people?
Well, my business, I started in the industry about 1988 on the brokerage side of the industry, the stock market as a stockbroker. About 2013, I decided to change the structure of my business and focus on the insurance industry because that was the area that I always noticed had the most guarantees of things like principal, guarantees of income, and things of that nature. And it was much better to focus my attention on one specific area than trying to wear many hats covering all the other different areas, such as money management and trading and estate planning, all the different things that come along with financial planning.
That's excellent. There's a lot of people out there that need that type of work, that service. So, like a normal person would call you for what kind of services, like insurance, they would go to you for?
Yeah, those are the vehicles that we use in the insurance industry. But the type of things that they call me about are concerns about risk to their principal, concerns about outliving their money. They want guarantees of income. They want a minimum bottom line. What is the best I can do with this amount of money? I have a 401k, or I have an IRA, or I have some funds that are in the market, and I want to move it into something safe, and that's where I come in.
Okay, so everyday persons would need services that you would offer.
That's correct.
Now, especially in this market that's very volatile, how can we reduce that risk in this type of market that we're seeing right now?
Well, like I said, going back to the insurance industry, the insurance industry offers guarantees that you just can't get in the securities industry. So vehicles like fixed index annuities, for example, there's so many different variations. There's a lot of bad press about them. There's pros and cons, just like there's pros and cons with everything you do in the financial markets. The one thing that we like to focus on is, what is the client's objective? What is the best thing we can do for their situation? And then design a plan based on their objective and based on their concerns and so forth. No one shoe fits all. Everybody has a different story, a different situation.
Exactly. So a younger person is going to have different needs than a person, say, for instance, in their 40s or 50s.
Well, absolutely. And one rule of thumb I always say in Financial Planning 101, use your age as a percentage. If you're 50 years young, I always say that, 50 years young, you want to use 50% as a gauge, where 50% of your assets should be in something with a guarantee of principal, a guarantee of income, or a combination of both. Every year you get older, you want to move that up. The older you get, you can't afford to lose what you've worked so hard to build up, because once that happens, you're starting to lose time, to make that money back.
So would you recommend that somebody that actually invests with you or talks to you about insurance would reevaluate their situation perhaps once a year, or would it be more like twice a year or a few more than that?
Well, it depends on the size of the estate, but you should keep up on it on an annual basis, of course, and review where are you? Are you on the right track to where you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, and so forth? When do you want to retire? When do you want to start income? You want to start income at 65, or do you want to start income at 70? Or you want to start income earlier? So
Well, that's excellent. So if somebody would want to reach out to you in your business, how would they find you?
Well, you can always go to my website, chamberlainfinancial.com, or they can call me in my office here in Boca Raton at the 561 number 962-2775. That's my Boca Raton office.
Excellent. And we do have a guest call-in number at 888-565-1470. So if anybody listening out there would like to call and ask you any questions, obviously it would be not a pointed answer, but...
Yeah, so a lot of the topics, people like to talk about are reducing taxes also, creating tax-free income and that sort of thing. So there's ways of doing that in the insurance industry.
And that would also be with annuities or?
Well, not exactly. An annuity can create an income stream like a pension. It's not the best vehicle for transferring wealth from one generation to the next. That's where life insurance comes in. But also there's cash value policies like Index Universal Life, where the cash value is building up and you link it to something like an index, like an S&P 500, where there's no risk to the cash value. But all the loans that you take against that cash value are tax-free, and you don't have to pay them back because it goes against the death benefit. So if you're using an IUL, Index Universal Life policy, to create a future income stream of tax-free money, that's the way you do it. You wouldn't want to tap into that cash value and take money out that way, because that would be a taxable event. It would be taxed like an annuity, ordinary income. But if you take a loan against it, then that would be 100% tax-free.
So would you recommend that the normal person should probably have a variety of different ways of taking care of their retirement, whether it's for taking care of their family after their death or their death benefits, or even caring for them in their retirement? Would you recommend that as well? Well,
yeah. Well, the key there, normal. What is normal? Everybody has a different explanation of what normal is based on their criteria. A younger person, as far as utilizing what I just mentioned, could really benefit from that, because the cost of insurance is much cheaper for them. So the cash value builds up so much quicker when properly designed. I have to say that because, a lot of advisors or people out there just end up trying to buy an Index Universal Life policy to build up the cash value. It has to be properly designed. Well, what's the focus? Is the focus on the death benefit, or is the focus on maximum accumulation of the cash value to build that up for future distributions that are 100% tax-free?
So that's where coming and visiting and meeting with a person like you would be very helpful to them. Now, if someone were to meet with you, what kind of information would they need to bring with them in order for you to have a good picture of what their finances are?
There are statements, of course. What do you have? How many IRAs do you have? How many cash accounts do you have? I just need to see exactly where you're at in your goal for retiring, so I can make the best assessment to give them the best advice based on what they present to me.
Well, so now, what is this point that you had talked to me about before about how to create tax-free income by banking on yourself?
Well, that was basically it. You hear that term a lot. You'll see commercials about banking on yourself and so forth. What they're talking about is what we discussed, which is the Index Universal Life policies. You're basically creating your own personal bank that you can tap into as needed.
However, the initial investment goes down because you're using those funds to live off of?
Well, the cash value, if you give it time to build up, it doesn't go down. You're taking a loan against the death benefit.
Okay.
So upon death, the death benefit would repay back whatever you borrowed against it. But you're not buying it for that purpose in that scenario. If the focus was on the death benefit, then we would focus on maybe a higher death benefit during certain years while they're funding it. Especially if we had young children involved, maybe the first 20 years we would have a higher death benefit, or what we call a level death benefit.
Okay. Yeah. So now, would businesses be benefited with visiting with you?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things you can do for businesses. I mean, there's things like, captive insurance, which is a whole different subject, which, is for a company that has at least $4 million a year in revenue, setting up their own captive insurance company. There's huge tax benefits in that. And I have a whole company that I work with that handles that sort of thing. It's very complicated stuff, but for big companies that have a certain amount of revenue on an annual basis, that's something to consider. Also, key man policies. If there's a specific type of policy needed, you believe it or not, there are people that will purchase, 10, 15, $20 million policy. Well, could you imagine what the premium is on that? Those are high premium. Let's say a premium is like $750,000 a year. Well, we can do something called premium financing where they finance the premium. So I'm talking to XYZ company. They're trying to get a policy on a key person. They don't want to spend $750,000 a year out of their budget, but they decide to go ahead and finance it. We have companies that do that, and now they're only paying the interest. Okay. So let's say we got it down to $250,000, but for the same policy and with the same benefits. That's called premium financing. It's a way of leveraging. The great thing about premium financing is this: the cash value is linked to an index. So if we're borrowing money from an institution at a very low interest rate because interest rates are so low, but the indexing is causing the cash value to grow at a higher rate than the interest that we're being charged on the amount we borrowed, you have what's called an arbitrage situation. And that's something that could be very beneficial over time with that type of contract, as long as it's properly designed.
And that's where your business would come in, and you can help people to set those things up.
That's correct. That's correct.
Excellent. So how long have you been in business again?
Well, I started in 1988, and that's when I first got into the brokerage side of the business, which was on the security side. And then I shifted in 2013 to focus on the insurance side. I was always doing insurance. I was doing everything, everything under the sun. Yeah, I was managing money. It gets very tumultuous to do everything. So why not focus on a specific area, which is a huge area, by the way. There's so many things you can do with insurance. And I'm independent, so I work with all the major insurance carriers out there.
That was my next question.
Right. So when I have a client in front of me, if I don't have an answer for them, I go out and find it for them. We come up with a solution based on what the client's needs are. And that's the first thing I do.
So say, for instance, somebody has an annuity or a 401k from an old job and it's just sitting there and they're not really sure. Could they take that to you and you could move it to another place?
Well, yeah, they would roll it into an IRA. Okay, so that's called an IRA rollover. So you have to keep qualified money qualified. So it would transfer or roll over into a qualified account. So if they're talking to someone like myself and we're recommending, based on their needs, let's say a fixed index annuity, then they would do a rollover into that annuity. The annuity would become an IRA annuity. It has to be exactly the same qualification, what we call qualified account. So,
and that's, of course, if they're under the age of 65, right?
Well, you can do a transfer or a rollover. You can't take any money out of a qualified account if you're under 59 and a half, otherwise you're going to get penalized 10%. So you have to be 59 and a half or older to start withdrawing without any type of penalty.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, is there any other reason why we would go and visit you and see you for your services?
Well, I've been in business a long time, and I'm client-focused. It's not about making money. It's about doing the best we can. What is in the best interest of the client? We're always seeking the best interest of the client. How can we help this client achieve this specific goal? And we have the tools to do it. So.
And that's excellent. Is it just a one-man office?
Well, I have a case design team that I work with. I actually have several of them. So the way technology has advanced in the last 20 years, it's made someone like myself able to, basically work as though we have teams of 100 people, because the way, the internet and software and everything works. So we have case design people all over the country that we work with.
And that brings me to my next question. Can somebody from outside of the state of Florida work with you as well?
Yes, as long as I am licensed in that state. I'm licensed in several states, but it takes 24 hours to get licensed in a state. But what matters in the insurance industry, unlike in the securities industry, is where they sign documents. So the advisor needs to be, or agent needs to be licensed in the state where they sign, the application. What's interesting, you brought that up, is in the state of New York, for instance, a lot of products don't get approved in the state of New York.
I've noticed that.
That's because, I'm not going to mention any names, there's a major insurance carrier that, has a monopoly up there. So in the old days, we would meet a client, if I had to, in New Jersey, they would come over to sign something from the state of New York, and now they put an end to that. But in the securities industry, you have to be licensed in that specific state, whoever you're talking to on the phone. But in the insurance industry, it's where you sign. So.
Oh, okay. Very interesting.
Basically, there's so many things, like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, that you can do with insurance. We talked about creating a tax-free income, and a big thing that we're seeing, we're starting to see this now, is inflation. Inflation, we've had literally no inflation for a long time. But as more cash gets infused into society, now we have lower corporate tax rates, people are getting bonuses, they're getting raises, there's more money to spend. When there's more money to spend, that causes inflation. That causes the indexes, the cost of goods to go up. Not really that, the cost of goods are going up so much as the purchasing power of a dollar is going down. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that's where you get your inflation.
Yes.
So you want to use vehicles, insurance vehicles, that have the ability to keep pace with inflation when you turn on the income. Now, most fixed index annuities, for example, when you turn on the income, they create a guaranteed fixed income stream for the rest of your life, like a pension. There are a few A-rated companies out there that have what's called an increasing income option, where the income, once started, can move up with the index, and every time it does, it's locked in. So once it goes up, it can't go down. So if you're getting $20,000 a year, and then it goes to $22,000 a year, it stays at 22, doesn't go back to 20. Just to give an example of that.
Okay.
So that's very useful because, like I said, there's very few companies. There's a few A-rated companies that have that option, and that's something that I think is, if your starting income is 65 now, people are living a lot longer. To give you an example, if you had $100 in 1970, it's worth $16 today. So you don't want to.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. I had people come into my office. They go to one of my seminars in the past, and they were retired longer than they worked. They never thought that they would live this long. So people are living a lot longer. I've had a few of those.
Oh, that's probably not a bad thing.
If you run out of money, that's the thing about running out of money.
That is also the scary thing, and that's where your business can step in and help people before they get to that point.
Yeah. And, like I said, these insurance vehicles that we use, they don't just cover one person. You can cover two people. You could have, a policy, a contract that pays income on one person. They pass away, God forbid. The spouse continues with the same income for the rest of their life, covering two lives.
And that's a wonderful policy right there in itself.
Yeah, there's just many variations, which one's right for them. And people get a lot of conflicting information, and they listen to people on the radio, on TV, and different shows, and they get pulled in this direction and that direction. And there's no magic, bullet here. There's no, magic pill that answers all these questions. You got to sit down. Okay, what are we trying to do? Okay, and once we understand what their objective is, what they have to work with, then we come up with the tools, the solution to make that happen.
So you can simplify it for the person that doesn't have any experience or knowledge in insurance, because it can get very confusing.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Yeah, it's very confusing. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to keep up with these constant changing laws, rules. Insurance companies send out emails every day. We're changing this and this policy, or changing this and this annuity, or so forth. So you have to really keep up with those things.
Well, that's excellent to have somebody in your corner that is intelligent and knows about those changes as they happen. And hopefully we can call somebody like you and have you in our corner to help us through those things.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in a nutshell, that sector, I'm glad I made the change when I did, because, like look at the last few weeks or last week or so, all this volatility, I'm getting a lot of calls, based on this volatility. And my clients that are in my insurance vehicles are like, do I have anything to worry about? you have nothing to worry about. Market goes down, it's not affecting you at all. You're in an insurance contract. That's another important thing. When you buy something like a fixed index annuity, that's an insurance product. It's not a security. If you bought something like a variable annuity is considered a security. Mm-hmm. Okay. So in a variable annuity, you are assuming the risk. In a fixed index annuity, the insurance company is assuming the risk. Okay.
Okay.
So what are the pros and cons? There's pros and cons to all these things. In a variable annuity, you have unlimited growth potential on the upside, but you have risk to your principal and you have higher fees. Where the fixed index annuity, you have lower fees, in some cases no fees, but they'll have caps or limits on how much they can make on the upside because they're giving you protection on the downside, or they'll have a spread where you get a participation rate, or you get 100% of what this index does minus a 1% spread or something like that. That's how they make their money. So there's pros and cons to all these things.
Excellent. So again, in order for us to reach out to you, it would be at chamberlainfinancial.com, and your office number is 561-962-2775.
Chamberlain Financial, L-I-N on the end, not L-A-I-N.
Yes.
You got to make that very clear.
We have to get that right.
Yeah, that's the proper way, actually. Spelling it.
Oh, it's the proper way.
Yeah. Also on Facebook, and I have a lot of very useful tools and things that are constantly being posted. If you go to my tools category, resources on my website, excuse me, you can see all the different tools that we use to help educate people.
Yeah. Oh, that's very important for people to educate themselves. Although calling you would probably be a benefit to them to work out some of the details of it all.
That's correct. There's no there's no pressure. It's not about that. It's about how can I help you.
So is there a fee to meeting with you?
No, of course not. Of course not. There's no fee for a consultation. Just gather information and come back with a solution. A lot of times, I'll come to the realization that what you have is fine. What you're doing, and they just want that reassurance. Sometimes I'll come back and say, listen, there's nothing I can do with this, and here's why this will actually hurt you. It has to be ethical. It has to be in the client's best interest. Somebody wants to move somebody from one vehicle to another vehicle because they're thinking about generating some fee or commission. That's not the way to go about it. It has to be in the best interest of the client. The client has to come out ahead.
Can you tell me where your offices are located?
Well, yeah, I have the office that I use in Boca Raton is right on Executive Center Drive at 2-3. I always forget the exact address. It's 239. I can't read that. 95.
Here, let me see it.
I don't have my glasses on.
And I have to take my glasses off to read it.
Yeah, Executive Center Drive.
2385 Northeast Executive Center Drive, Suite 100 in Boca Raton, Florida. So you're very local.
Yeah.
And like we learned, you can help people even across state lines if you are licensed in that state.
Yeah, just a note, because I'm hardly ever in the office. I'm on the road. So they set up an appointment. We meet at the office. They come in. I do also a lot of virtual appointments. I don't know if some of the older people out there understand this. You can do what's called a virtual Join Me session, where you send them a link. They see my computer screen, and we work out the illustrations and the plan right there as though they're sitting in front of me.
So they can see the charts and everything. Yeah. That's very helpful.
They can come into my office. We can meet there. We can meet at some of the other locations that are available to me also, or we can do what's called a virtual Join Me session.
Well, that's very helpful for busy people that are working as well.
Yes.
They would appreciate that.
Avoid the traffic. And so
yes.
forth.
Well, if anybody has any questions for our guest, Stuart Chamberlain, the number is 888-565-1470.
Okay. So what else you want to talk about? We covered a lot, actually.
We did. There's a lot of information on this, and it can make your head spin. I remember when I sold insurance myself, it was a lot of education and a lot of study and there was stuff coming at you every day that was new, and it was overwhelming to do it. So to hang in there and to be successful in doing that, it's a wonderful thing that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, there's just, it can be overwhelming. The average agent doesn't last very long in the industry because the learning curve. There's a lot of people that do it part-time here and there, but it's really hard to be, a specialist, an expert in that specific field without, putting your heart and soul into it and learning everything you can, about how you can, benefit your clients.
Well, we hope that our residents here will appreciate knowing a little bit more about your business. It's been an eye-opener for me because I know I've talked to you over the years about your business and even sat in in your office a couple times helping out.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long time since that.
Yeah.
But it was always interesting to see how you did the financial aspect of things, but also the insurance thing because we had that in common. But it's nice to see also that you can help people with their retirement, with all of the things that we talked about in the volatile market.
Oh, yes, big topic, I've been getting hammered on that for the last few days, with all kinds of questions. I'm glad I don't have to worry about it like I used to when I used to manage money. And all this volatility, though, is just part of the underlying fundamentals of the economy are pretty strong.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is going to fluctuate, and I think most people understand that.
Yeah, but if you want to take the fluctuation or the volatility out of the equation, then you talk to somebody like me. I'm the safe money guy. Focus on things with guarantees of principal, guarantees of income. Safe money. Safe
money sounds good to me as well.
Yeah.
Well, so definitely they'll need to call you at your office number, 561-962-2775. And also reach out to him at chamberlainfinancial.com. He would be more than happy to talk to all of you.
Thank you.
Everglades Angels Dog Rescue is dedicated to saving dogs abandoned in the Everglades. The urgency of reaching out to the community for financial contributions and dog adoption have greatly increased. Join us on Sunday, February 18th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. at Anthony's Cold Fire Pizza, 115 Northeast 6th Avenue in Delray Beach for a Give Back Sunday. 20% of all dine-in and carry-out will be donated back by mention of this promo. For more information or to make a donation, contact Everglades Angels Dog Rescue at 800-511-DOGS or evergladesangelsdogrescue.org.
Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP2.TV. Does your child learn best when they see and experience information? Is your child smarter than indicated by test results? 3D Learner is an integrated learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561-361-7495 to unlock your child's true potential. Visit us at 3dlearner.com or call 561-361-7495.
In a perfectly imperfect world, you can eat the foods you love, lose weight, and be healthy. But what if I told you can do just that? In fact, your diet should be perfectly imperfect by eating the foods you love and still achieving your health and wellness goals. I take the guesswork out of nutrition by giving you my simple and effective strategies so that you can live the healthy and happy life you will love using real food to get real results. Schedule your nutrition consultation today at 888-84-TAMMY or visit my website, TammyFogarty.com. Don't delay, get healthy today. 888-84-TAMMY.
Want to make your smartphone brilliant? One tap creates a virtual wine fine tuner. Another, a coffee refiner. A beauty cream and makeup enhancer.
Wow. Look at your eye.
What a difference.
And with still just a tap, a strength and flexibility harmonizer.
Yeah, I definitely felt something different.
This is the Vitalizer. In the App Store on any smartphone, a simple download that will embed specific frequencies and vibrations into your phone's light photons and sound waves. Calibrations designed to affect taste.
The Vitalizer one is better than the other one, for sure.
Hydration, absorption,
Feel silkier.
and perhaps most incredibly, your strength, flexibility, and energy. Amazing.
Wow. Crazy.
Well, salud. I'm loving it. Go to www.vitalizerapp.com and make your smartphone brilliant.
What is Debersize? With over 25 years of personal training experience and workout techniques, Deb Varsalone invites you to Debersize. Debersize comes to you from the privacy of your own home or group training facility. Debersize can meet your individual fitness needs, offering one-on-one, non-impact resistance training, post-surgical strengthening, to higher-level boot camp and weight training. Debersize will meet your personal fitness goals at any age. Contact Deb at 561-307-9283. Schedule an initial consultation and get ready for a stronger, healthier you. 561-307-9283. You are listening to Tell Us Your Business, where our invited guests share all the knowledge of their business and how important it is what they do in our community. If you want to be part of the conversation, call into the show at 888-565-1470 and tell us what's on your mind. Now, back to Tell Us Your Business.
Welcome to Tell Us Your Business with your host, Holly Ulrich, FP. And you can watch us on Facebook at AMP2 TV Productions, plus Periscope and YouTube at AMP2 TV. And our call-in number is 888-565-1470. And I'm pretty sure you're going to want to call in for our next guest. Her name is Cher Ross. Welcome, Cher.
Hi, Holly. It's good to be here.
It's nice to have you here. So tell us, what kind of business do you do?
That's so funny you would ask. Well, I am very excited to share that I am doing real estate here in Florida with a wonderful company named Mangrove Realty. A lot of people know me from the rock and roll world.
What? You're a rock and roll star? Get out.
You're playing all innocent. I love you, Holly. So yeah, a lot of people know me as the bass player for the 80s all-female platinum selling Vixen.
Awesome.
Yes. And there's a few other things as well. I also have a band with my husband. I also play bass for Joe Elliott, who happens to be the singer for Def Leppard. He has a side band called the Down and Outs. And as if all of that wasn't enough, you know, I've always been so excited about real estate and was really into it for, I lived a long time in Los Angeles, 25 years. And when we moved to Florida, I got even more into it. So I am super excited to be with Mangrove Realty now, and
that is
let's
really,
do this.
That's super cool that you want to do real estate and that you're doing it now, even though you've got this super cool other thing going on in the background, which I'm sure takes up a lot of your time, but now you're going to be focusing on this. So we can reach you if somebody would like to reach you to have a rock star real estate agent at 561-637-4559. And you can reach her at Cher@mangroverealty.com. So I'm going to have a few questions for you, if you don't mind. Can you give us the lay of the land and tell us what you're up to? Other than the music and the real estate, anything else going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the primary focus right now with the real estate is really diving in and listening to what people are wanting. You know, I'm getting people contacting me now. There's a few investors that I'm really good friends with, so they're wanting to get started. Let's face it, South Florida is awesome for investment properties.
Excellent.
Yes.
So that brings me to my next question about the location of where you were planning on doing real estate.
Oh, sure. That's a great question. Well, my primary focus is Palm Beach County, you know, everywhere from Jupiter all the way down to, you know, Fort Lauderdale, basically. But anywhere in Florida, my associates and Mangrove Realty, we can handle it. So I want to just make everybody happy with, you got to love Florida. And you know what? This is not your grandmother's Florida. It's different, you know?
It has changed a lot.
Yeah.
So what did draw you to real estate?
Well, that's probably one of the primary things, because I love the fact that real estate is so many things to so many different people. When I spent so many years on the road, so coming home to a home is really important to me. And I appreciate that a lot. And then I also understand the aspect of, you want to invest in property, you want to invest in something that's going to have meaning and maybe change other people's lives as well. Depends on how you look at it. You know, you just had your brother on here. He's a financial advisor. Come on, real estate investing is super huge. And you always want to be aware of those different factors. You know, is this for you personally, or is this an investment? And either way, I listen to what people want. But my interest for real estate is very simple. I spent years and years on the road, so I understand what it's like to come home. And let me tell you, I have come home 2 times where I was a renter. And by the way, I can help you rent property as well.
Oh, that's also very good to know.
Just thought I'd let you know that.
It's good to throw that one in there.
I was going to throw that in there. But as a renter in LA, I would come home. And one time I came home from 3 months on the road with Alice Cooper, who incidentally owns real estate in South Florida.
I would imagine that.
Like, I'm just throwing that in there. Let's just keep it interesting. So anyway, I came home off the road. My husband's band, the Dogs D'Amour, was touring with Alice Cooper, and I was the bass player for them. Came home, we had 3 days, because while we were gone, the owner of the property had sold the property.
Oh.
But we had been gone, so that was the last straw for us. We said, that's it. We're gonna buy. The next place that we move into, we're gonna buy. We're gonna own it. And then we moved to Florida.
Yeah, so why would somebody want to buy real estate in South Florida? What do you think?
Oh, my gosh. I think the reasons are huge. First of all, in my humble opinion, if you can work from anywhere, this is such a fantastic lifestyle. I grew up watching 70s TV, and I thought, Southern California, that's where I want to be. And I have to tell you, when I finally did move to South Florida in 2009, I thought, this was what I saw on TV. This was the lifestyle I thought I was going to get on the other coast, and I'm actually getting it here.
How funny.
I think that's amazing. That is a huge reason to move here. Literally, any lifestyle that you want. This is not your grandmother's Florida. You can have super active lifestyle. You can get into the tennis, the golf. Let's face it, the ocean is amazing here. We go snorkeling right off the beach here in South Florida. Like, walk into the water, and there's the fish. There's the nurse sharks, which are totally safe, totally fine.
Yes.
And you can just swim right along with them. One interesting thing that I love about this particular area of Florida is that the Gulf Stream is closest to Delray Beach and Boynton Beach, which means our little section of beach water is very warm.
Yes, it is.
Very, very warm. And I personally love that. I love the beach. So I think that alone is reason enough to have real estate in Southeast Florida.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, basically, you know, I can't make promises. I can't say it's going to keep appreciating and keep going up and up and up. However, the development in our area of Southeast Florida, Boynton Beach, Delray Beach, Lake Worth, Hypoluxo, Lantana, West Palm Beach, it is just going up and up and up. There were cows Now there are houses.
I know, it's
and
crazy.
this is in a very, very short amount of time, and it sells before you can blink.
So, question. I know there's a lot of big stars, big names that own real estate in this area.
Yes.
Are there still houses out there for just regular, everyday people? And will you help those everyday people find those regular homes?
The everyday people are my favorite people because I'm an everyday person.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
You're so funny. Yeah, I mean, yes, you do have the Adam Sandlers, the Billy Joels, the Alice Coopers who own real estate here in Southeast Florida. But you also have people like you and me. I mean, we're buying regular houses. I believe that my main goal as a real estate agent is to listen to you. So if you called me up and you said, Cher, I want a condo. This is how much my budget is. Da, da, da. Okay, let's do it. Done. If you call me up, you said, Cher, I want a house. I want, a gated community. I want tennis courts. This is what my budget is. I'd be like, boom, let's do it. I'm not going to show you something that you don't want. Everybody wants something very unique to them.
So if somebody has 3 dogs and 2 horses, you might be able to help them.
Absolutely. It's about listening to the person. And I can tell you, when I moved to Florida, before we even got on the plane to go look at houses, we went through three real estate agents.
Wow.
Because the first one didn't listen. The second one didn't listen. The third one listened.
So listening is key.
Listening is key. And I'm a musician. Listening is what I do really, really well.
Excellent.
Yeah. And I just think it's really important to put your needs above my needs. So when you say that this is what you need, I'm going to pay attention to that.
Excellent. So typically when you meet with somebody, you want to find out a little bit about them, obviously. You want to know what their price range is.
Right.
Where would you meet them? Would you meet them at the office? What do we know what the address of the office is? Is it in Boca?
It's in the office is in Delray, so I can meet them at the office in Delray. It's let me see if I get it right. I think it's 55 Northwest 2nd. It's just south of Atlantic.
Okay, awesome. And of course, you can find them at mangroverealty.com. I would.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
And the whole thing with meeting somebody and talking to them, I will meet them in person. I can meet you on Skype. I can meet you in person. We can meet for a coffee. It's all about just having that initial conversation. The other day, I was getting my hair done, and a guy that works at the salon needs to buy a house. So we just talked it out right there.
Very
Boom,
cool.
done. Let's make it happen. It's always about connecting in person as much as possible. But I shouldn't even say in person. It's about connecting with the person.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah. And, there are places for everything. There's the over 55 communities, which, yes, I know this. I said this isn't your grandmother's Florida, but we do have over 55 communities here.
Yes, that is true. We do have
But
that.
there's also, the millionaire beach houses, and then there's, the not millionaire houses as well. I think there really is something for everybody here. And you can have whatever lifestyle that it is that you want. If you do want beach property, you're going to get it at the best price.
So there's still beach properties out there.
There are still beach properties out there. In Southeast Florida, we have like the best beach property. Like, look at us compared to like Southern California. It's like there's no comparison. It's like they're on another planet. And don't get me wrong, to anybody in Southern California, I love you. I still love you.
I hear the weather's really good there.
I have to tell you, I love the weather in Southeast Florida because it's so good for your skin. The humidity here is great for your skin, I'm telling you.
So, say, for instance, you're a family with small children.
Yes.
It would be a nice place for you to raise a family, but you would know the particulars about if schools are better in one location over another.
Well, I think the main thing is finding the area that's going to suit you for your family needs, and your budget. I would never just outright say, oh, this school is definitely better. However, I do pay attention to where the schools are really good. And the cool thing is, yes, there are so many awesome communities now that are either gated or not gated, and yet safe. Where I live in Boynton Beach happens to be an awesome community. And when I first moved there from Los Angeles, which is a very urban kind of mentality, I would be walking down the street and kids on skateboards would go past me. And I'm used to kids on skateboards being a little bit threatening. And so when this happened in my neighborhood, I would sort of jump and they would go, "Hi." And I'm thinking, wow, you're nice. This is amazing. Like the kids in my neighborhood, they play in the street. They come over and play with my dog, which is another thing. This is a super pet-friendly area.
Yes. Do
Amazing.
we have even dog beaches, don't we?
Yes, we have amazing dog beaches. There's the one in Jupiter. There's another one in Boca. And then I take my dog personally to the dog park.
There's lots of dog parks
There's
in
tons of dog
every
parks.
area that you can go to. So this is very pet-friendly area.
Yeah. And so many properties have yards, so it's pretty easy to have a pet here as well, I think.
That's nice. We're all pet lovers here, so that's a nice plus to
It is. It's an awesome thing. Yeah, and I think there's just so many ways that you can go with what it is that you want. There's brand new buildings that are just opening up for rentals right now. People could message me right now. If you want to rent an apartment and try it out, what's it like to live in Florida? Rent for a while. Find out. Check it out.
Give it a year and see what you think.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
So, and the way that they can get in touch with you is by calling 561-637-4559, and it's share@mangroverealty.com.
Yeah, what she said.
So there's so many other aspects about realty, though. If someone were to meet with you, what exactly would they need to bring with them so that they would be prepared and ready?
That's a great question. I think the main thing is to have that list of the must-haves. This is what I have to have in where I want to live. Because there are some things that are going to be a little bit negotiable. So I always think of it as sort of 3 columns. The first list is, this has to be there, non-negotiable. The second list is, it would be nice, maybe it would be nice if you had your own pool. But maybe that's not a must-have. For some people, it's going to be a must-have. Mm-hmm. And then the second list would be, it would be nice if. And then the third thing would be, well, in a dream world, it would have all of this. And then, obviously at the top of your list would be your budget.
Now, if somebody had found a house and then they came to you, is that doable as well, or is that
absolutely
something?
Yeah, absolutely, because you're always going to benefit by having an agent to help you through the process and to make sure that things get done right, your T's get crossed, your I's are dotted. You want to have the benefit of a realtor to hold your hand through that process. And believe me, I've been through it. I understand, whether it's your first time buying a home or your 10th time, it's still a process.
It can be very daunting as well.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Very daunting indeed. And you just kind of want somebody who's on your side.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And like you said, to listen to that person and to see what their needs are, that's very key.
Definitely. And then, for somebody who wants to sell their home, that's a different process. So that person would come in with, this is what I absolutely need to get. And then, then we go through that process in a different way.
So is this a buyer's market or a seller's market right now? And what is the difference between the two?
Buyer's market would mean that, the demand for homes is huge. And a seller's market is where, you're going to get a lot for your home. So right now, it's a little bit of a seller's market because if homes are sort of accurately priced, they're flying out the door right now. Mm-hmm. So for buyers, it's a little bit of, it's almost another reason why you need a realtor.
So it makes it a little tricky, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I'm going to know when something's coming up. I have more access to things. My associates and I both can hey, we already know of something that's not listed yet, but it's going to be perfect for you.
And that's excellent to have somebody like you in their corner because in this type of market, you don't want to miss out on the house that maybe you didn't know about until after it was sold.
Oh, I know, that's the worst.
Wah, wah.
That's the worst. It's absolutely the worst. And sometimes, you just have to let go of those things as well when they do come up like that.
Exactly.
But, there is a huge demand right now. I think if I get the number right, I think it was Delray Beach, which, if everybody knows, in Southeast Florida, Delray Beach is just booming like crazy. And the luxury homes in Delray Beach went up something like 45%.
That's crazy. But I just noticed the downtown recently when I drove down there, and it'd been a while since I'd been downtown Delray, and I was like, wow, look what they did to this place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
There's
really
so
nice.
much going on down there. And Boca and Boynton Beach, all three areas are like exploding, like literally exploding.
Yes. Well, hopefully that'll reach up to my area as well. That'd be nice.
Is that right? Okay. That's
Maybe
neat.
it'll
That's
creep
neat.
up in our area.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, overall, I think the real estate is just, it's booming in Southeast Florida. It's literally booming. And when you get into, especially if you can get into new construction, then you really can have fun. If anybody can get into that, it's so fun because you get to personalize and customize and make some choices along the way.
Yeah.
And then, or if you're a fixer-upper kind of guy or kind of gal, you can get some awesome deals on older homes, which is really cool because, let's face it, they don't build homes quite like that anymore either. So there's lots of different ways to go. And then the whole condo thing is really fun too. Lots of condos.
Lots of those. And of course, there's townhouses and, little places with cottages. There's a lot of cottages in our area where I live.
Yeah. And lots of things you can do as well. You could, if you make this your primary residence, you can do a ton with, if you make this your primary residence, let's just say you get a lot of benefits to what your financial advisor will be very happy because it helps your taxes.
Ah, excellent.
Yes.
Yes, we've got the homestead exemption.
Yes.
That's very important. Not all states have that, and I don't think a lot of people in Florida realize that.
No, this is not a nationwide thing at all.
That's why a lot of the very high-end people will come here and buy their home.
Yeah, exactly.
So we
and
get
make it a primary residence.
Exactly.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, so that's really beneficial.
Okay.
The other thing that I think is really cool is I find that you get the Florida that you want. So when you move here, or if you already live here, you can sort of decide this is a fun Florida. And like, I'll go out to, I don't know, the other day I was at Boys Market, which is such a crazy grocery store. For anybody outside of Florida, just imagine the most insane New York deli you've ever been in and prepare to be run over by little old ladies with shopping trolleys. So anyway, I was in there, and I love the fact that in Florida you can just strike up a conversation with anybody. And sure enough, I did. Somebody sort of started to run me over, and then some other dude, he and I were both like in the hippie section buying the organic weird food, and we just start talking about all the stuff that's there. And I find that happens a lot in Florida because I think maybe we do have a lot of New Yorkers here, and there's a lot of sort of brazenness with just talking to strangers. And so I love that about Florida. I strike up conversations with people I've never met all the time down here. And I also find that the neighborhoods are very welcoming and very friendly. And my husband and I have a recording studio where we live. And we've lived here it'll be 9 years this year, and nobody's ever complained.
How nice.
I know. Isn't that amazing?
That is really nice.
I love that. We're loud.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But we're considerate. We're very considerate. But, still, it's pretty loud.
So you're not doing it at like 3 in the morning.
No. We're not doing it at 3 in the morning.
That's probably key.
And we do have soundproofing up.
Very good.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of really cool things to do here in South Florida as well. We're very centrally located so that if you wanted to go down to the Keys, you could go down to the Keys and spend the weekend. Or if you wanted to go to any of the amusement parks, those are very nearby. So South Florida is a really cool place to live if you want to do some really cool things and neat restaurants and, downtown nightlife. There's all kinds of different areas like downtown Delray, of course, we talked about. But there's all different other downtowns that are blossoming as well. West Palm. There's even in Jupiter, you've got Harborside, so there's a lot of live events. And since you're a rock star, you know that there's a lot of music events that happen in South Florida as well.
You know, what I find is when I look at the events calendar, it's almost like there's not enough time to go do everything. You know, there's festivals, there's arts and crafts, there's Garlic Festival, there's the Pirate Festivals. The Pirate Festivals are huge in Florida. And then there's all of the music festivals. There's tons and tons of stuff to do.
And lots of arts as well. And in my area in Lake Worth, we have like the Street Painting Festival. It's a very artsy community. You drive downtown and you're seeing weird statues and funny paintings and murals.
Yes.
And it's very neat. But the Street Painting Festival is always a highlight of our year.
Very cool. It's very, very cool. And I also, I think that it's interesting to just walk around and sort of people gaze, like find a place to plant and just people gaze. But I also wanted to add that there's like, you know, it's not just oceans, there's also lakes. So there's a lot of boating on the lakes, and there's intercoastal as well. So there's a lot of opportunity to be waterfront and not just on the ocean.
That's really a plus about living here in South Florida. Yeah. Well, Cher, you know, it's really been cool talking to you and getting to know you about being a real estate agent. And this is very cool that you'll be able to help maybe some of your fans.
Absolutely.
Get a beautiful dwelling, whether it's a townhouse or a home or a mansion on the ocean. You're their rock star real estate agent.
Ready to do it. So let's rock those houses.
So they can find you again at 561-637-4559 at Mangrove Realty. And her email address is cher@mangroverealty.com. And we're so excited that you're able to share this time with us and tell us about your biz. So that's awesome.
Cool. Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.